Welcome to the Main Money Show, where Wall Street meets Main Street. My name is Cynthia DeFazio, joined today by Jordan Main. He is president of Main Financial Group, and Adam Freund, CRC at Main Financial Group. And to our viewers at home, you watch every week and you hear us talking about the RIPT report. Well, what exactly is that? Is it a fitness magazine? What is it all about? We're going to talk about that on today's show in case you are curious. Jordan, how are you today?
I am great. I'm happy to be back in the studio with you. How are you?
I am fantastic. Thank you so much for asking. Always happy to be with you. And also with you, Adam, I've got a segue over here.
Who, me?
Yes.
Oh, well, I feel great.
Good.
You're not going to comment on his bow tie?
I love your bow tie.
We got the bow tie. We got the bow tie this week, folks.
It's very spiffy. I love that look.
Suspenders too?
No suspenders.
No suspenders?
No.
Aw.
And I'm not ripping my shirt off this time either. So.
Well, we should talk about what's next to you on the desk, if we could, before we dive into the RIPT report. Let's talk about the Main Street Millionaire.
Well, who wrote this Main Street Millionaire?
Yeah, we're pretty excited that we just released our new book, The Main Street Millionaire. It's what's the tagline say? How real
people build real wealth and keep it.
Yeah, it's almost 300 pages. It's a great guide of taking the complex Wall Street jargon of the financial world and converting it into Main Street values. I think it's, well, I hope everyone finds it as a great read, but we're pretty excited about it.
I didn't fall asleep when I read it.
Oh.
So it's good. No, it's very good. It is not a salesy book. It is all about, really about the people out there wanting to have information, real information about retirement and pre-retirement. So I highly, highly, highly recommend this book, and not just because he's slipping me a 50 under the desk here.
Yeah, and I think everyone can go to mainmoneyoffer.com to look to get the book, or we're going to give some offers later in this show as well. The other exciting announcement, Cynthia, is we now have a weekly radio show.
What?
Ooh.
Yes, every Saturday morning, AM
9:10
from
9 to 10.
In the morning. So that's a tongue twister. So we're on at station 910 from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. every Saturday morning. So we're excited about that as well. So lots of good changes at Main Financial.
Most definitely. I'm excited about that. And that is easy to remember. 9 to 10. Station 910.
That's right.
So let's talk about the RIPT report. This is actually the cornerstone of someone's financial plan. So if we could spend some time today, viewers at home, really breaking it down piece by piece and what it is exactly. The RIPT report, where did the concept come from and what does the acronym stand for?
Yeah, absolutely. There were a lot of things that go into someone's financial life cycle, financial plan, and we said, well, let's focus on the four most important. And we came up with this crazy acronym RIPT, R-I-P-T. The R stands for risk. How much risk can you tolerate? We use this great analogy of driving a car. How fast or slow do you want your portfolio to drive? That means how much risk do you want to take on? But more importantly, once you know your score, how fast is your portfolio actually driving? Are they matching up? Most times they're not.
Okay.
The I is income. Income is the outcome, right? Isn't that what we say in retirement?
That's true.
Do you have an income plan or is it income guess? And what if you screw up and live too long, right? The P in RIPT is the portfolio health. Have you stress tested that portfolio? What are you paying in fees? How has your performance been? Have you beat the benchmarks? What sectors are you investing in? And then the last part, my favorite, the T is taxation. How do we get that Uncle Sam out of your pocketbook? So there are other things that go into a financial plan, health insurance, legacy planning, things like that, long-term care, all of those things. We focused on these four to start. And I think at a minimum, we need the RIPT report for everyone.
Well, I also think it was created out of the need that we were seeing from other people that were coming in from other advisors that were only just focusing on one area or maybe two at the most. So Jordan came up with, well, really, we need to focus on risk, we need to focus on income, we need to focus on your portfolio, we need to focus on taxes. I wanted to call it TRIP. but it sounded like you're going to trip into your retirement. So RIPT was much better.
We got rid of that one.
We got rid of it really quickly.
Oh my goodness. Well, obviously, R is the first one that we really want to unpack, and that obviously ties to someone's risk tolerance, risk capacity. What are the first steps that you take to determine if someone is in the right risk level for their specific needs?
Yeah, that's a great question. We actually have a website called mfgrisktest.com. Anybody can take it. You don't have to be part of our clientele to take it. But it's going to give you, as Jordan said earlier, it's going to give you a score from 1 to 100, 1 being the most conservative, 100 being the most aggressive. I've never seen a 1, and we've never seen 100. But essentially, it's going to give you an idea as to how fast, as Jordan said, you like to drive.
Okay.
How fast are you comfortable with in terms of risk? What's your uncle point? Remember when you were
Right, and the survey is, oh, that's right, Uncle. Yeah,
Uncle.
we do that.
Uncle.
I remember that.
Yeah, the survey or little test questionnaire, it's only 11 question, multiple choice. You can do it in the matter of seconds, under a minute. And as Adam said, it'll give you a score of 1 to 100. And we use this analogy of driving a car, but what does that really mean? If you're a 65, let's say, you're comfortable with 65% of your assets in the market.
Yep.
If you're a 25, you are a more slow driver and you're conservative. You're only comfortable with about 25% of your assets in the market.
Okay.
So we use this cute little analogy of driving a car, but again, that website is mfgrisktest.com. Anyone can use it if you don't know your own score, and then you can apply that to your financial plan. But as I said earlier in the segment here, is what if you come in your score as a 25, how do you know your portfolio is actually driving at a 25?
Right.
And we run the portfolio through the same software, and it will assign a score to your portfolio. And I have to say, 9 times out of 10, the person's score, which is what they can tolerate, what they're comfortable with, does not match what their portfolio is actually doing.
That's right.
And what happens then?
Well, then we take them out back and no. No, what happens is that basically we start to work on a plan, part of the RIPT report, to get that aligned properly. So, and that goes into 2 parts. As Jordan said, think of it, if you had $1 million, let's make that math simple for Adam, right? So if you scored a 25, that would mean that you would want $250,000 of your portfolio in the market. Now, if we come back and run all of your reports and you're running, your portfolio is running at a 65, well, that's a huge difference. Huge difference. And you're taking on a lot of risk at that point. So we need to get those 2 things aligned.
And I think also, not to cut you off, but the age really doesn't have anything to do with it.
Nope.
Whereas the conventional wisdom in financial planning is as you get older, you take your age minus 100, or there's all these little things.
Yes.
We have Marjorie. Marjorie, that's not a real name for client confidentiality, but we have a client that is in her late 80s, never married, no kids, has about $5 million with us, and on a scale of 1 to 100, she's in the 90s. She goes to the casino once a week. She has no one to leave her money to. She doesn't need it. Conventional wisdom would say she's older, she should be more conservative, but I say that's hogwash. On the flip side, we've got a 32-year-old young man who inherited granddaddy's trust from his farm.
Okay.
He has everything in fixed income, doesn't want to lose 1 penny of what granddad left him.
And he scored, I think, was 29 or something.
Yeah, so he even went lower.
I think he went lower.
And so conventional wisdom would say, and financial teachings would say, well, he's younger, he can take on more risk. But it really comes down to every individual's unique tolerance. I don't believe it has anything to do with age. It's what you can sleep at night with.
Right.
Okay, perfect. Well, I definitely want to talk about income, but before we get into that, we have to take our first commercial break. So Jordan, let's talk a little bit about what people can expect when they pick up the phone, call in, or snap that QR code today.
Yeah, we're offering for anyone watching today to come in and get their own customized RIPT report. So this is a written financial plan that's specific to your situation. 2 meetings out of your life. The first meeting is to tell us what you like and don't like about your current financial plan. The next meeting, we'll come back and give you the results of the RIPT report. Again, the R, how is your risk aligned with your portfolio? The I is income. What is your plan, or is it just a guess? Do you have enough income? The P is how healthy is your portfolio? And the T is what is your strategy to get Uncle Sam the taxes out of your retirement? We also are going to throw in a copy of our new book. So call us or click the QR code, come in and see us, and we'll give you a copy of the book and your own personalized RIPT report.
And he may sign it.
Ooh, nice.
Uh-oh, looks like I'm autographing.
Jordan, thank you. Adam, thank you. To the viewers at home, the number to call, 888-462-7839. And you're calling in to book your consultation so that you can receive your very own RIPT report. Find out where you stand with retirement. Are you really ready to make that leap? We will know after you have the RIPT report designed specifically for you, and most importantly, also receive a copy of Jordan's book. This is also very important, a very great read, and all yours today by calling in to 888-462-7839 or clicking the QR code at the bottom corner of your screen. We'll be right back momentarily on the Maine Money Show, where Wall Street meets Main Street. Stay tuned.
I was an accountant by trade out of school, out of Michigan State, and I absolutely hated brokers, financial advisors, whatever they wanted to call themselves. I was a tax accountant, and we would share a mutual client, and this broker would advise our mutual client to buy, sell, and never do any tax strategy, and I was left to clean up the mess. So I went to the client and said, please talk to your broker and tell him to knock this off or begin to do some strategy, and the typical broker response was, I'm not licensed to do that. I can't talk about taxes. So I basically decided to get my investment securities license and all my other licenses out of spite so that we could do all the tax planning as part of the investment strategy for our clients. The value of choice, as we always say, if you go to a big box firm, they're going to have one of 6 portfolios, let's say, and you're going to fit into one of those. The value of working with an independent advisor, especially a fiduciary like we are, is that they have to do what's in your best interest, and they can use any program that's licensed out there in America. So a huge difference. After 20 plus years on this side of the fence, I think our industry does a poor job at explaining to the public the difference of those two. I come from a culture of helping people and educating them, not just telling them what to do. So I think people that truly want to educate make a big difference in this industry.
Welcome back to the Maine Money Show, where Wall Street meets Main Street. My name is Cynthia DeFazio, joined today by Jordan Maine, president of Maine Financial Group, as well as joined by Adam Freund of Maine Financial Group. He's a CRC. And we're talking all about the different components that go into the RIPT report. If you've been watching us weekly, you're probably wondering, what exactly is it? Well, we are breaking it down letter by letter. So, gentlemen, we should jump into the next one, obviously. The next one is I, income. Talk about paychecks versus playchecks, please.
Yeah, well, first of all, you can't retire without some sort of income, right? So we all have Social Security, hopefully, to rely on, right? But and maybe some of us out in the audience has a pension, although we're seeing that go more and more away. So how do you get to the point where you need reliable income? So playchecks versus paychecks. Paychecks is what lets you sleep at night. It pays your bills. It makes sure that you're not sleeping with one eye open, trying to figure out how you're going to pay the water bill tomorrow. You need to have a layer of paychecks, and you can do that in many different fashions. You can do that, obviously, Social Security, pension, income annuities, bonds, something that is always going to produce an income that you can rely on. The playchecks come into order for things that are above that. You want to take a trip with the grandchildren. You want to buy them something. Maybe you want to take a trip with your loved one on a river cruise like we've talked about in the past. That's what your playchecks are for. Those are not going to rely so heavily on whether the market is up or down, because if the market is down, okay, well, we don't take the trip this year. We'll wait till next year when the market comes back up. So those are the big difference. Did you want to add anything to that?
I say on top of that as well, in this section of income, so many people come to us and ask, well, I have X amount of dollars. I have 1 million. I have 2 million. I have 3 million. And it really isn't about the number. It's what that number represents to you in the form of guaranteed lifetime income. And we had someone that came in and had about $2 million, and they said, well, my current plan with the other advisor, we're able to take 3% out a year, about $60,000 a year. And we looked at their plan, and I said, well, with some of the other tools that are out there, with 1 million, we could bring in about 70,000 a year. So we could make more money on half as much money by being more efficient using a lot of the tools that are in the toolbox. So I don't think it's as important of what your overall asset size is, it's how much income can you generate.
How are you using the tools, basically? Yes.
Well, one of the tools I want to talk about is Social Security. And why is it dangerous for people that rely heavily on Social Security as part of your income?
Well, the Social Security Administration has already come out and said within, I can't believe this now, it's in 10 years, 2035, that if they don't do anything, everybody, soup to nuts, doesn't matter if you've been on it for 2 weeks or 10 years, will get reduced by, I think it was 17%, something to that effect. So that means that everybody gets a pay cut at that point in time. That's the first thing. The second thing is, so they have to fix that. And how they're going to fix that, we don't know yet. The second thing about that is Social Security was really never meant to be a replacement for your pension or any other types of things that you're doing.
It was a supplement.
It was a supplement. It's it's to add to it. And Social Security is wonderful. We love Social Security. When to take it is a whole other story. But that we could get into, and we actually do in the RIPT report. But this is something that everybody in that audience needs to know, that Social Security just isn't enough. You need to have other means in order for you to essentially, even just to make that paycheck that we were talking about.
Yep, create other paychecks, right, exactly.
Okay, perfect, thank you so much. Let's jump into portfolio. Talk a little bit about growth and guardrails.
Yeah, I mean, essentially, we had someone came to us last year and said, I had a great year. I made 9% in my portfolio in my growth brokerage account. And I said, well, that's great. How much risk did you take on? Because you have to have a benchmark to equate it to.
Right.
This person was taking on a risk, remember the scale of 1 to 100, of about a 96.
Wow.
And those indexes or indices performed at over 30% in that same year. He took on that much risk, but only made 9. So it's all relative. So in that case, he didn't have a great year. In his mind, he did. So the idea is we have to optimize and make efficient what we're doing from a growth standpoint. What sectors are we allocating into? I think there are 11 or 12 technology and energy and all these great things. Where geographically are we placing our money? Americas, Europe, Asia, all these things. What are we paying in fees? Layered cost in a lot of these mutual funds, right?
That's the number one thing that everybody wants to know.
And then the biggest is, how about stock overlap?
Ah, great
What
point.
is that, stock overlap?
Tell them that story about that guy.
Stock overlap is when you have a bunch of mutual funds that are maybe buying some of the same stocks. We had a gentleman that came in and said, I'm the most diversified investor you've ever seen. I've got 65 mutual funds. We sent it over to Morningstar in Chicago, and 60 of those mutual funds were buying the same 20 stocks.
Oh my gosh.
So he wasn't diversified at all.
No.
So these are all pieces to make sure that you have a healthy portfolio.
So we use, Jordan mentioned it briefly, we use a company called Morningstar. A lot of people in the audience probably have heard of Morningstar before. But to give everybody kind of an idea as to what Morningstar is, they're the J.D. Powers of our industry. They're the ones that they have no horse in the race whatsoever. They don't care what you're invested in. They want to see, basically, give us a look under the hood. We'll use another automotive reference, but it gives us a look under the hood. So we can see what sectors you're in. We can see where you are in terms of the economy or the world that you're investing in. We can see those fees. We can see the stock overlaps. This
almost like getting an MRI or an X-ray for your portfolio.
Excellent point.
That's perfect. And that's what people need. They need to have an x-ray of that portfolio. So Jordan, we're going to take another very quick commercial, but let's talk a little bit about what people can expect to receive when they call in today or they click on that QR code.
Yep, like we had said before, come in 2 meetings out of your day or out of your life. The first meeting is to tell us what you like and don't like about your current financial situation. The second meeting will give you your customized written financial plan. We call it a RIP report, RIPT. How is your risk in regards to your portfolio? Is it in line? What about your income? Do you have an income plan or an income guess? What we just talked about, portfolio health. Are you beating those index or those benchmarks? Next, we're going to talk about taxes in the next segment. How are you getting Uncle Sam out of that retirement plan? And then we're also going to give you a copy of our brand new book just to come in and see us.
Jordan, thank you so much. Adam, thank you as always. To the viewers at home, that number to call, 888-462-7839. Or click the QR code at the bottom corner of your screen. Book that complimentary consultation. Come into the office, have your very own customized RIPT report designed just for you for your retirement. Make sure you have the retirement of your dreams. Again, 888-462-7839 or click the QR code at the bottom corner of your screen. We're talking about the RIPT report today. We've gotten through RIP. Guess what's next? You're right, T. T is coming up next. Stay tuned. We'll be right back momentarily.
A recent MarketWatch story followed a 63-year-old who had everything mapped out for an early retirement until the market dropped. Overnight, his confidence was shaken. Years of saving and planning suddenly felt uncertain.
It's a familiar story, especially when headlines are filled with volatility and downturns. But the truth is, retirement doesn't have to hinge on market timing.
With the right plan, you can build a retirement strategy that prepares for uncertainty. It's about balance, growth for the future, protection for now, and a flexible income strategy to help you stay the course.
The markets may fluctuate, but your retirement doesn't have to. A diversified strategy built around your lifestyle and goals can help you retire and stay retired.
Welcome back to the Main Money Show, where Wall Street meets Main Street. My name is Cynthia DeFazio, joined today by Jordan Main, president of Main Financial Group, as well as Adam Freund, CRC at Main Financial Group. We're talking all about the pieces and parts of the RIPT report. We've gone through RIP. Now we're going to dive into T. And T, gentlemen, of course, is taxes. Oh. And I know this is so important because so many advisors actually skip around taxes. They skip through. But you don't. You tackle them head on. Jordan, why is that?
Roth, Roth, Roth. Can I say it again? Roth. Everyone should explore converting pre-tax dollars to a Roth IRA. We've created a great free tool calculator online. What is it, Adam? MainTaxBuild.com.
It is.
Anyone can go there and just put in a few pieces of information, your age, your amount of money in pre-tax IRAs and 401ks, what you think your tax rate will be, and a rate of return you can pick of your choosing. And it will show you if you convert now or over a period of a few years what you'll pay in taxes if you convert to a Roth, or if you held it forever and lived to be 95. It is a wonderful tool to take a complex scenario and simplify it. I think everyone should consider a Roth.
Don't leave Uncle Sam a tip.
Taxes are on sale right now.
Well, let's talk a little bit about today's tax environment. You just mentioned that, Jordan. What should people be thinking about? Because I know we've talked about it before, but taxes are on sale. Are you paying on the seed or the harvest going forward?
That's a great, I love that one. Way to go, Cynthia.
I had to throw something in there.
We love the two ways to get money into a Roth are the new contributions that you can put in up to $6,000 or $7,000 a year, depending on
catch up.
And but if you make too much money, you can't do that. So what we've talked about earlier here is converting dollars from a pre-tax IRA to a after-tax, tax-free Roth. You have to pay tax along the way. Another way to get monies into a Roth, if you're still working at a big company, is what's called a mega backdoor Roth. So you can contribute to your 401k, and after you've met the contribution limits of the pre-tax, they will take after-tax contributions. And they've got different limitations depending on the plan. You then can convert those to a Roth IRA inside of your plan or a Roth 401k. So other ways to get dollars into tax-free. And why is it so important to get dollars into tax-free, Adam?
I don't want to pay taxes later down in life.
If taxes go up,
Perfect.
how does it affect a tax-free bucket?
It doesn't.
It's zero. So the Roth is the beginning part of getting to a tax-free environment. The next thing for people that are healthy and wealthy, we call it,
Yep.
is a LIRP.
LIRP.
So what does that stand for?
LIRP.
Adam?
Life Insurance Retirement Program or plan.
Yeah, this is a lot for the surgeons, the professional athletes, the highly comped executives that need to save more than what the requirements allow on retirement plans. And so they essentially stuff a lot of money into a permanent life insurance policy. There's a limitation of how much you could put in based on how much death benefit you have to have. But as it grows, you can take some out or take a good chunk out at tax-free. We've talked about it before. Coach Harbaugh at the University of Michigan received a LIRP from the university.
Yep.
$2 million a year for 5 years, $10 million into a LIRP, and he was able to take those dollars out if he stayed so many years and coached.
Wow.
So the next little trick here with taxation after the Roth is to explore a LIRP. But again, we've got to be healthy and wealthy.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's talk a little bit about IRAs and legacy planning, if we could. How does taxes tie into both of those?
Well, we've recorded actually a funny little video that I said, well, I'm going to give my IRA to my daughter. And Jordan says,
Why would you do that? The absolute worst thing you can do is give your retirement account to your children. Your children will pay income tax on those dollars at their bracket.
the tax bomb.
It's a tax bomb. It'll boost up their bracket. Like we had talked about in the last break, you know, it's kind of like throwing a great party for one of your kids and you see how happy they are and then you give them the bill for that party. Your retirement account comes with a tax bill. So what
Okay.
we've developed is what we call an IRA legacy plan.
Yep.
So if you don't need some of your IRA or all of it, carve it out, put it into some tax-free vehicles, and don't burden your children with tax.
I have seen this in action where we have taken like a chunk of money, like $500,000, and turned it into 2, 3, 4 times what it's worth, tax-free to the kids.
Wow.
So it is something that you should be looking into, especially if you do not need your IRA or if you're thinking about saving it for your kids.
So there you go. 3 quick tips for you
Okay.
and for the
3
T's. Roth IRAs, look into LIRPs, and an IRA legacy, don't give your kids a tax bomb.
Oh, and Roth too.
Yeah, and Roth again. Can't say it enough.
Yes, we have to talk about Roth. Well, Jordan, only a minute left. Please, any final words of wisdom you'd like to share to the viewers at home if they're clicking on that QR code today?
You know, we've talked about this RIP report, and it's a great beginning step for a financial plan for anyone that wants to come in for 2 meetings. The RIPT, make sure your risk is in line, make sure you've got a solid income plan, make sure your portfolio is healthy, stress test that portfolio, and we just talked a few ways on how to get Uncle Sam out of that retirement plan. We also have a lot of live events around Metro Detroit. Go to our website, mainfinancialgroup.com. Sign up for one of our events. Read our book. It's a great read. Click the QR code or call the number. We'd love to see you in one of our 4 offices, Brighton, Northville, Troy, and Bloomfield.
Jordan, thank you so much. Adam, thank you so much. As usual, to the viewers at home, that number to call, 888-462-7839, or grab your smartphone, click on the QR code at the bottom corner of your screen. Take advantage of this opportunity today. Be safe, be happy, and be blessed. We'll see you back next week. Take care now.